We're back. All right, boys. Check your acorns. Make sure they're out of the shot here. Yeah. The hell's that?
Good. I wish Gus would sit like still enough to just like stand there the whole podcast.
Just drooling at the camera.
Yeah.
All right, y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
Set. We come from Boone, North Carolina. Talk about fly fishing today. I want to say a big thank you to 3-6 Mafia for the intro music. It's music to our ears. Don't forget, stay fly out there, folks. Stay fly. Nonetheless, this is Patrick Sessums, Due South Outfitters, Fly Shop and Guide Service in Boone, North Carolina. Some of y'all see me on the YouTubes. Some are probably listening to this on the radio somewhere. Today we're joined by, let's see who's going to get it first. We'll start with Austin Vogel.
How's it going? I'm Austin.
Yee.
I've been working for Patrick for I don't know how long now.
Long enough. Don't even worry about it. Yeah.
Do float trips. Glad to be here. Missed the last one.
Yeah, he was guiding.
Yeah.
And this is Max Beck.
I'm Max Beck. I've been with Patrick
Long enough.
Wow.
long enough. I do float trips primarily. Summertime, there's snakes. Try to avoid the snakes.
No snakes.
Stay away from the snakes.
Yeah.
No snakes.
So today we're wanting to talk about a couple things. Max and Austin are both on the river a lot in East Tennessee, predominantly tailwater fishing guides, doing float trips in East Tennessee. So, of course, we're going to talk about some fishing reports. And I don't know, it's going to kind of catch up on what's been happening since our last podcast. For me, it's not been a ton. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Guide cars. We might talk about guide vehicles. Austin's trip to Montana. Max is getting engaged. He just got engaged. Congrats, Max.
Thank you.
Yeah. To his cousin, but
She's pretty cute.
she's
far.
She's a beaut.
This is North Carolina, not
completely
West
kidding.
Virginia.
Hey, no. Come on now. You can't be hating on WV, man. Shane's from there.
Yeah, it explains a lot.
So, nonetheless, we're going to talk about an update on the deer. We talked about the little deer last time. Maybe not an update on that deer, but an update on another deer we saw. And just some general stuff about fishing. Maybe give you guys some tips on how to improve your tailwater fishing game. But, yeah, let's go ahead and delve into this week. First off, I want to update y'all on what's happening with me. So, had Roos' first birthday party. It was awesome. Ton of friends and family and plenty of fishing guides around. These boneheads made it. What'd you think?
Yeah.
It's the best birthday party for a 1-year-old I've ever seen.
Heck yeah.
By far.
Beer and slip and slides.
Beard. And
solid.
hot dogs.
Hot dogs, and there's like 4 drift boats in the yard too.
Yeah.
And I think we're all sitting in drift boats, like listening to Tom Petty or something by the end of the night. So good
Got a
times.
little weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but after Ruth's birthday party, guided for a bunch of days straight, and then I got like deathly ill. I got some kind of weird virus. I think one of my clients gave it to me. It's called the roseola virus. Yeah. Ruth got it, and Meredith got it too, my wife. And so I've been out of commission for the past week. I've been on the couch, and I'll tell you, you've never seen a grown man so weak before. Good Lord. But nonetheless, back at it. I'm in the shop now. Still not guiding, but getting strong, ready to row. And glad to be out of the bed, that's for sure. But yeah, while I was laying on the couch, these dudes were picking up the slack. So let's go ahead and talk about fishing, because I know what both of y'all been doing the past 2 weeks, and it does not involve laying on a couch.
No.
Y'all been rowing a bunch. So what up with it? What's good with the fishing? And we'll talk about North Carolina in a little while, but let's primarily focus on East Tennessee today. South Holston, Watauga Rivers. Remember, we're located in Boone, North Carolina, so we're only about an hour from the Watauga, an hour and a half from the South Holston. So what's up, dogs? Hit me with it.
Saw a lot of boat traffic.
Yeah.
Fish, you could tell the fish were getting pickier and pickier as the end of July came. Just size down on bugs a little bit. That helped out.
Yeah.
tried to get into some weird stuff that most people, don't float through the same riffle over and over and over again and dump flies in the same exact spot. I tried to get a little creative.
Rooster tails.
Yeah, rooster tails.
Rooster tails.
Yeah, Rapala floating originals. They're
Snag
awesome.
rig.
Yep. So I sized down in bugs, but
Yeah, like you said, I really tried to focus on stuff other people were not hitting. All the main holes would get super pressured.
Mm-hmm.
You get 10 boats running through them. Fish get a little pickier.
The days I was out, between being sick and all that crap, there's also a ton of wade fishermen out. So it kind of sucks being a float guide in a way, because you might bust down thinking, oh, I'm going to get this great little riffle, and then you show up and like soft tackle Steve and his buddy, Billy Bob split shots in the hole with them. Yeah. So, it's just super crowded, man. But luckily, August is here. It's hot. The fish have been picked through, but fortunately, the crowd's starting to die off. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. Why don't we talk about kind of strategies for fishing to heavily pressured fish for just a minute? So y'all mentioned small bugs. What else can you do? Like, what I mean by this, guys, of course, and if you're in the Southeast, I mean, if anybody does some math here, a lot of the population of the country is within a day's drive of these rivers, all right? So a dude in Philadelphia could make it down just as well as a guy from Atlanta and fish with us or fish without us, fish on his own, whatever. So we're going to see a lot of pressure on these rivers. And sorry, we got a visitor in the shop here. But hold tight, y'all. We're going to take a break. All right, so let's get rolling again.
Resume
on this heavily pressured stuff. Scotty didn't lock the door, and somebody came in looking for spinning gear. Unfortunately, didn't have any. So heavily pressured water. Say that 5 times. What do y'all do as guides to like bust through the code and catch fish when nobody else is catching fish?
I like to. I think you do it a lot too. Hang back from the crowd. Just get some space from them. You can try to bust down in front of them, but a lot of times, as soon as you get to start fishing, they'll come running through you again. So I find hanging back a little bit, kind of taking your time at the beginning, letting them roll through, is a good way to stay away from them, let the fish kind of settle back down before you get to fishing on them.
Another thing, if you're ever out on a tailwater, it's kind of interesting if you're a fly on the wall, so to speak. Most of the time on a tailwater, everybody's going to go the same exact way, fish the same exact hole with pretty similar bugs. I think a big thing to do is watch where those boats are going and get away from them. I mean, the Watauga River and the South Holston River are huge. You can if everyone's fishing the right side, fish the left side. Even if it's super shallow, throw a short dry dropper with light flies. The fish are everywhere in there. 5,000 or 6,000 fish a mile. What is it? They're not laid up in one trough. So I think the biggest thing is getting away from where all the other boats are going. Small bugs, light tippet, bobbers that aren't going to splash, stuff like that. I think that helps a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And I concur with you, man. I'd rather hang back than get pushed in the back from people that I passed and tried to run down in front of all day. I think one thing that people get freaked out about on tailwaters, wade fishermen especially, when a boat comes through a spot, it does not ruin the fishing, y'all. I promise you. Okay, I had a guy blow up on me last year about this, and it was hilarious because as he was like red in the face and fuming, my guest plopped a fly out and literally just snagged, picked up a fish just right in front of him as we were coming through, just banging through this little run. And, I mean, y'all have seen it time and time again. Y'all wade fish over there as well. Boat comes through, literally 2 seconds later, boom, catch a fish. So hang back from the crowds. If you are wade fishing, don't get super antsy if boats are coming through. Let them come through. You can get to areas they can't get to, and they can get to areas you can't get to. One thing for boat anglers, though, I would say, I see a lot of boat anglers that are kind of weenies. And what I mean by that is, don't be afraid to put your boat in the rocks, okay? If you look at our guide boats, they're beat to shreds, all right? Mm-hmm. If you're a guide in the Southeast and your boat's not beat to shreds, I don't know if you're a real guide, okay? So here's the deal. Don't be afraid to put glass on the rocks, all right? In essence, get that boat in some skinny water. Fish stuff, like Max said, that people aren't getting into. Mix it up a little bit. And you're right. I think that, in a sense, that the South Wilson and Watauga are large fisheries. But if you look at, like, the Upper Watauga, sometimes there ain't a lot of places to go. It's still pretty daggone skinny. So, but then again, cover every inch of the river, fish something different. The other day I was in a pinch, man. I was really struggling. Wasn't feeling too good. I was still coming back from the Roseola. And I was out sweating it out, man, trying to catch a few fish. And, man, I did some weird junk I'd really never done before. And it worked, So think outside the box, Turn a new stone. Give it a whirl. It's always worth something. So, and then some days, like, I'll see y'all jokers, you be in front of me, I'm like, man, what the hell are they doing down there? I'm like, God, look the other way. Nothing to see. So you never know what's going to happen. But
yeah, sometimes we ain't as dumb as we look.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Huh?
Said sometimes we ain't as dumb as we look.
Do what?
I think one of the funniest things was one time on high water, ran by Patrick. He was fishing the flat grass there, normal short dried dropper, but I'd see his guest casting it through the air, and there's this big ass green woolly bugger right below the dry dropper.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, only boat to catch fish that afternoon. Yeah, funny story. So I'll tell that story right quick. So Austin and I were doing a trip that day, and I won't say I was the only boat to catch fish. Austin's always catching fish. Good God, it's tough to fish around these boys. But anyways. Water comes up, and it gets just nasty. Muddy, and the bite turns off. And, I'm like an East Coast small bug guy. I really enjoy fishing really tiny, delicate presentation stuff. And I had this guest this one time, and he goes, hey, I was fishing out west, and my guide, great guide, put a woolly booger, a big just gobstopper of a woolly booger underneath a foam, like something like a big chubby, like a size 10 chubby. And was having us bang the banks with it, and we crushed them. I was like, man, I don't know about all that. Dry dropper woolly booger. And so the water came up, got super muddy, and I just was turning blue in the face because we were having a terrible time trying to find these fish. And so I gave it a whirl, and damn if it didn't work. I tell you what, it worked great. We're catching, I won't say great, like caught like 40 fish on or anything, but we caught fish. It saved the day. So yeah, you're right, Austin. That was a good point.
Yeah, something weird.
Yeah, think outside the box, man. Yeah, for sure. To this day, one of our best fly patterns, it's like our saving grace in North Carolina when stuff really hits a fan, is a fly called the sorority girl. And I think I made it at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I was in college, and she looks real weird. But, man, she works. So, just try some different stuff. So while we're on the topic of tailwaters, I do want to ask both of y'all, because I'm sure our listeners want to hear something that they can take away as really like a solid morsel to put into their quiver of fishing knowledge. What would you recommend doing? What was your kind of like number one aha moment in the past few years of guiding that you would say has helped you catch more fish or better fish? And you don't have to give away all your secrets, but what would that be? We'll do it for each of us and send them on their way.
I think my aha moment was, when I first started doing the float trips, I was like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I was always concerned about whether the water was going to be high, whether it was going to be low. I didn't have a ton of experience on both of them, but through the however many years I've been over there and the hundreds and hundreds of days we spent over there, Austin and I kind of came up in it together. We spent a lot of time together sitting in a drift boat. Travis, he's another one of our employees. He's been one of my best friends forever. That's all we did. Pork chop. Like our sophomore year, that's all we did is we went and fished the Watauga. But through those like days and days and days on the river, you learn like every nook and cranny. Some days something works and the next day it doesn't. And I think through having all those days and memorizing so much about the river, when you're having a bad day, something's going to pop into your head, and it's going to be like, I can go here, and it's going to make my day. Or I can do this, and it's going to help. You know, it's just having as much time on the river as possible and figuring out as much as you can really, really helps. It saved my butt a lot. So, hey, Ruth.
I would concur with that. Just TOW, baby. Time on the water.
Time on the water.
Yeah.
Helps a lot.
What you got, Vogel, there?
I mean, I totally agree with that. That's huge. Being able to have a backup plan when things go awry. But as far as like fishing techniques, I don't know. Good tip. I don't know. I do a lot of dry dropper fishing. One thing that's really kind of dialed in this year is like real slow, clear, low water, fishing for fish that you can see. Really dial it. Don't be afraid to throw a little dry fly as your dry dropper fly. In slower water, you'll be surprised at how much weight it'll hold up. It'll hold up some pretty heavy flies and a deep rig with just a little tiny dry fly.
Name 3 flies you'd recommend for this.
Big bone caddis, little elk hair caddis, or stimulator. And they make some little tiny chubbies, but even those are a little thick for my liking in that real slow stuff.
Right on.
Yeah.
And I want to take a second and highlight a product here, y'all, that if you don't have, I'd recommend getting. The Big Bone Caddis is a Rio fly. They just started putting flies out this past year. And actually, Ruth and Meredith just got here, too. So, what's up, girls? But so the Big Bone Caddis is a bug we've loved fishing. It comes in a size, I don't know, it's like a 12 to 16 maybe. But it's like a foam sized down chubby, basically, that's got elements of a elk hair caddis in it. And it's really a bombshell of a fly. We all fish it quite a bit, especially as a sighter for dry dropper fishing, sight fishing. So, all right, so I think my number one aha thing in the past few years of guiding that have really excelled, us and me into this, catching a few more fish. Hey, Ruth, what's up? It would have to be getting rid of split shot. I simply abhor fishing split shot with clients, and I can't stand fishing it myself. And so here's the deal. All right, we're all really picky about the depth that our flies are at. So the way we're managing that now is through stuff like tungsten beaded flies. And I don't mean having like, I have one pheasant tail with a tungsten bead. I mean having like, here's my 450 fly assortment of different tungsten beaded, patterns. And I've got a zebra midge with a 1.5, a 2.0, a 2.3, a 2.8, a 3.0, a 3.3, a 3.8, a 4.0. And that's all my black ones. And I've got olive ones. And I've got gray ones. And what we're able to do is, in essence, make the fly act as our split shot. This is stuff that we're taking from the Euro nymphing scene, but adapting it to conventional fishing.
Redneck checking.
Redneck check.
Redneck check, baby. Shout out to Ollie Smith and Jason Reap on that one. That's their brainchild. But yeah, so don't be afraid to can the split shot and tie some really funky looking bugs with these bulbous tungsten heads to act as your split shot. Because y'all can probably concur on this, man.
Yeah.
Like, we'll catch some nice fish on some really weird weight flies.
Yeah. I don't even have split shot anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even use it.
Tungsten sinks faster.
It does. Yeah.
Way faster.
It does. So that's one thing that I think all of us have adapted. It wasn't like in the past year or two. I mean, we've been doing it for a while, but that's the one thing that really elevated us to catching more fish. And it really prevents tangles. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, if you put a nice cast on a 3.0 bead and hammer that rod tip with it, and kiss that rod goodbye. All right.
Done that 7 times this year already.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would definitely be careful, open that loop up just a little bit when you're casting it. Yeah. But, yeah.
Almost throw it like a bounce rig, kind of just flop it back and flop it forward when you're fishing the real big, heavy ones.
Yeah. I think one other aha moment, too, that maybe I hadn't had, but I've seen other fellow anglers and guides have is let's fish for silhouette on these tailwater bugs, let's not get really weird with our tying and putting these legs and wings and crap on your nips.
Mm-hmm.
Make it look kind of buggy and get it in front of the fish,
Yeah.
Presentation over
I think we all use pretty simple patterns.
like 30-second ties,
yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
If it's more than 30 seconds, I don't want to tie it.
You get a lot of guests that, like, they see what we're fishing, they're like, really? Like,
super
are you
simple.
Sure?
Yeah.
Like, we'll just fish a little bit and we'll see.
Yeah. So, and one other thing, vary your bead color, right? So we all fish tungsten beads, all of us, no secrets there. But we all run like different bead colors paired with different threads or bodies or whatever. Sometimes that bead change will entice more strikes, going from like a silver to a copper or black, whatever.
And that changes every day.
Yeah, copper.
It really does.
Copper and silver to black, nickel. It can all, like you said, change day to day. Run one of each
in the morning.
Figure out what's working.
Yeah.
It could vary hole to hole, too, the same day.
That's right.
Which one they're going to eat.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps out, y'all. Just some little things we pick up throughout the course of guiding, pass a little bit. We still have to talk about North Carolina fishing, which we'll do in a little while. Since I got y'all on here, why don't we take just a second and talk about like kind of y'all's experience? Because here we are. Austin's about to graduate from college, right?
Yeah.
And he ain't no greenhorn anymore. You know what I mean? This guy's been guiding this is his 4th season now, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Max, same kind of deal. So give you guys a little bit of backstory on how I met these guys, and I want y'all to talk about kind of what it's like to come through college, working as a fishing guide, working in an outdoor recreation like fueled area, and just what it's like, man. Because I think a lot of people, especially younger anglers out there, get a little bit jaded by college. I was like that. I went to a big state school for a year, and it was fun, man. But you can only go to so many fraternity parties, and then it's like, dude, this is getting really old. I want to get back in the woods. I grew up in the woods. So what was it like to kind of balance those? But I want to get started just with a brief story on how I met both of you guys, because I remember it very clearly. And that way you guys can know these guys a little better and hear kind of the backstory. So I'll start off with Austin. I met Austin first. And what had happened, I had just came up with this idea to start a fly shop, right? And I'd been working out in my truck for quite a while, and I saw potential for growth, and we needed some extra help. And man, I don't know. He was a freshman in college, or just got up here, transferred here, I guess, from Mercer. Yeah. And anyways, I saw this like Instagram account or something. I don't know. I think it was Wildfly. It was Scotty's account.
Yeah.
And
Wildfly Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty
I saw
Brown.
this jacked up like Forerunner pulling a like really shitty raft, y'all.
Old blue.
And I saw this kid winching
Still
this.
for sale.
Yeah.
Yes, still for sale.
You got to dig it out of the woods behind her house, but it's still there.
It's there. She
You
lives
get the
on.
squirrel that lives in it too.
Yeah.
That's where the raccoons
from.
Yeah.
Had a serious raccoon problem lately.
You have to tell us about that.
Yeah,
man.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So I see this Instagram post, and Scotty's like, "Bro, we got a boat." And I'm like, holy shit, who are these kids? It's just like just beat up ass boat. I was like, I gotta meet these guys. And I got to looking, I was like, damn, this dude's doing some pretty cool like film work, and this guy Austin seems pretty nice. Let's meet up. So I hit him up somehow and said, hey, let's go grab some lunch together. And met him. Just could tell immediately they're both great guys and great personality. And basically was like, look, dude, this is what I got going on. How about why don't we work together and see what happens? I don't know what the hell's going to happen. And so took you guys out to Tap Room. I mean, both of y'all could definitely not buy beer at the time. So I bought you both a cheeseburger and like a big old tall glass of water. And that's all it took.
Good water. Good water.
Yeah.
Good water.
Yeah. And since then, I mean, God, it's crazy what all's happened. You've driven across the country twice to get boats, done all kinds of junk. But, yes, that's how I met Austin. And tell you about how I met Max real quick. So, the same time, a week after I met Scotty and Austin, pretty much, or like 2 weeks after, I don't know. We were hosting like little fly tying events at our little shop at the time. And I think it was Austin. It was like, oh, man, I got a friend, Max. He owns like a fly tying company. I'm like, instantly intrigued. I'm like, holy shit, there's an app student that owns a fly tying company? What?
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was called.
It was legitimate.
It was called App.
It was legitimate.
App Flyco.
I made one fly.
Hold on, don't steal my thunder. And so, anyways, I was like, well, I'd love to meet this guy, bring him out. And so we're having a fly tying night, and Max shows up. I'm like, damn, this is gonna be cool to have like a guest tire at this tying night. What's up, Goose? And
Little did he know.
little did I know, I think Max even had an Instagram page. And I saved his phone number in my phone. I still have this phone. It's cracked all to hell. And I still have it. And I've got Max Beck as Max Beck App Flyco in my phone. So I remember all this.
Did you have an Instagram page for that?
Hell yeah, I had an
Think you
Instagram for it.
So he sits down at this table. We've got these tools spread out, fly tying vise, bobbin, thread, all that stuff. He goes, what do you need all that for? It's like, what are you talking about? You're in a fly tying company, man. And I go, what do you tie? He goes, oh, I tie an egg. Like, a what? He's like, you ever heard of the hot glue egg? I was like, oh my God. I was like,
It's
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, so Max literally was sitting in his dorm room with this daggone glue gun and glue sticks. I don't even know where the hell you got them from at the time.
I don't even
Making
remember.
hot glue eggs, just chewing Copenhagen and selling them to local fly shops.
Just selling them to drunk college kids and be like, yeah, you fly fish. I'm like, yeah, dude, you got to have these. You got to have
Best
them.
fly
I was
ever.
like, the park in the wintertime, that fishing's tough, man. This is the most realistic fly you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And all these drunk college kids are like, dude, I need it. I need it. Like, they're showing up in a Land Cruiser or something. It's like, that you can tell their parents have way too much money, and I'm just like, suckers. Like,
I got
I've
suckered
caught
into it.
5 fish off of them, maybe my whole life.
I don't know.
So-
Did you have a vise when you were tying those? I don't know if you.
No, I didn't even.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Forceps,
even
dude.
forceps.
Yeah,
I put them in
forceps.
forceps, and I would dump a bunch of hot glue on it. And I'm so bad at tying that pointy tool that comes in the fly tying kit.
The bodkin.
The bodkin, that thing, I'd take it and smooth it out, and then I'd take a lighter and burn it, so then all the bubbles and all the edges would come out. And it was a perfect egg fly.
Nice.
It was awesome. So that's how I started fly fishing.
So this is like Henry Ford of fly tying.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Primitive
Yeah,
fly
yeah.
tying.
Yeah, so that's how I met Max in Austin. And, Scotty actually wanted me to mention this earlier. The one rule we have here, we get a good bit of emails and people dropping in and go, hey, y'all hire? You have any job openings? And sometimes we do, very rarely, but we hire on one thing, and it's personality usually. We can teach you to fish. We can teach you to guide. But these guys both, right off the bat, is very evident. They're super personable, great character, nice kids, and so they've been around. Like I said, I think this is fourth season of guiding, and I want to tell y'all something. They kick ass. They're really good guides. Do a great job on the river, catch a lot of fish. Great to fish with. The guests are pleased. Can't say enough good things about them. So enough about that. Y'all heard how I met these guys. Now I want to hear about y'all's experience being in college, being fishing guides, because I think a lot of people that guide in college, or not guide in college, but think about guiding in college, think it's like maybe a 1 day a week, 2 day a week thing, get some cool pics, go fun fishing a bunch. That's not how it is for these guys. If anything, I would say that they're professional fishing guides and part-time students rather than students and part-time guides. They're both busting down triple digits in guiding days each year, and it's no slouch job. I mean, they're truly professional career path guides. So let's hear about it, because it ain't all, taking cool pics for Insta. What do you do? What's your normal day? I mean,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You start.
Well, I don't have any cool pics because I've always had the oldest iPhone that still works.
perfect.
So
I can hardly get you on the phone most of the time.
Sometimes you swear he doesn't even exist.
I know.
It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Austin today? It just kind of appears.
And I think, too, we mentioned one word here a lot, guide. They're guides, and so they're doing one thing, guiding, which means they're not fishing. They're having other people fish, so there's clearly not a lot of pictures of y'all fishing. There's not many of me.
No.
Usually it's our guest holding fish or,
Yeah.
So, but what's it like, dude?
Well, don't know. It's definitely a challenge in its own, trying to balance everything. Being full-time students, Max and I have both kept full-time schedule. There's a couple times we've taken 12 hours, which is the minimum, but
we didn't. That was kind of dumb even to do that. We should have kept it up. 16 hours, 17 hours.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I think this semester I'm set at 17, trying to bust out the last
too.
semester.
And y'all both keep good grades, don't you? I mean, pretty solid.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So I mean, balancing it was tricky at first. It was awesome. We were able to get schedules pretty aligned where I'd have class Tuesday, Thursday. He's Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
That way we still had 5 days a week to work. And offsetting days, so we were still able to cover almost every day.
Cover the shifts. Yeah.
But yeah, you go from, say, like Wednesday you have a trip. It's full day float, and you get back at 6 or 7, and you got to tie flies or you have a bunch of homework. Usually you have one or the other or both to do that night. So you end up staying up late, but making sure you get everything done. I don't know. There's not much time for partying.
No, it's definitely kept us out of trouble. Probably our freshman year, it's probably a saving grace. You guys found us.
Yeah.
First little bit, him and I started hanging out together.
Oh, it was dangerous. I remember those days.
That was the days we were sitting in the bushes of Cone Hall drinking a case of beer at 2 in the morning.
We didn't have anywhere to go. We were just sitting
Y'all don't do that anymore?
We were just sitting there in the bushes outside of my dorm room drinking beer and talking about fishing because you can't drink it in the dorm. We didn't have anywhere to go.
Well, you're also like 17 years old, right?
Yeah, we were 18 and 19 years old. Trying to avoid the App State police, but that was a thing of the past.
They've got good bushes at App State.
Yeah.
Good beer hiding bushes.
Nice.
Yeah. I think, didn't we hide like a case of beer in a bush for a while on campus?
Yeah, it's like a couple days.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Lukewarm,
Lukewarm,
really
natural
crappy
light.
beer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what we still drink anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But so kind of to piggyback on that, like he was saying, we both stacked our schedules and we've maintained that for 2 years now. And it's pretty crazy, there's been I can't even count how many times I'd go to class, even this past year, I'd take a float trip in the morning and go to class in the afternoon. And all these other fishing guys were like, man, why is he hauling ass down the river? My favorite thing, Evan Dowdy was like, where are you going? Why are you going so fast? I was like, it is 1:30 and I got an accounting test at 3, and I'm still in Elizabethton.
Yeah,
an
hour from Boone.
And you
got to drop your guest off.
And we peel into the parking lot, and Meredith's sitting there ready to take me to class. And I hop my backpack's already here, and
so you don't have to park a drift boat on campus.
Yeah, I didn't have to find parking for a drift boat. But there's been multiple times where we go to class and then take a trip, or take a trip and then go to class. But you said full-time fishing guide, part-time students. You wouldn't walk into our house and think it was a student's house. You don't see textbooks or computers or anything like that. I don't even know where my computer is right now.
I think it's been 2 years since I've actually got my textbooks.
Yeah,
I did that one semester. I didn't get any textbooks at all. Yeah.
You
just
still getting good grades though.
Yeah.
You don't need textbooks.
No.
Yeah. The river will show you the way.
Yeah. You don't trip over
quantum
books.
Physics. The river's got you covered.
You definitely don't trip over books in our house. You choke on fly tying material.
Step on hooks.
On hooks. I actually had a hook in my underwear 2 weeks ago. So I was sitting in the drift boat. I was like, God, what is that poking me in the leg? And there was a size 12 scud hook in my leg. That was rough.
Nice.
But,
I mean, what about the money? I mean, let's face it. Y'all are fishing guides. I mean, you make pretty decent living as college students. I mean,
yeah.
What's it like to be a student that has money to blow? Most kids are living on ramen. I mean, granted,
we
y'all
eat
probably
spaghetti.
do. Yeah.
No, we eat spaghetti. That's my favorite line to say. It's what's it like being a fishing guide in college? It's I don't drink PBR. I get to drink Sweetwater.
Yeah.
I don't eat ramen. I eat spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
If you want a new car, you just go buy one. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we say new. We all buy used guide vehicles, but
yeah. But having a job
boat, go buy a boat.
Yeah, I mean, it afforded both of us the ability to buy a drift boat at 21 years old.
Yeah.
There's probably not many people in the country that have one that young, which is kind of neat.
One thing I want to mention here, it's really cool, is there's nobody on the team, myself included, that were just like spoon-fed by their parents, right? So everything's bootstrapped, from our shop to the cars we drive. And it was super fulfilling for me and Meredith as kind of employers that, you know, help these guys get work and stuff. And we really don't see it as employers, but all right, so we've had, I don't know how many of y'all buy your first vehicle, right, working as fishing guides with us, or have to replace the car that you were, like, given, you know, by your family or whatever to get you through high school, or get boats or whatever. So, like, it's been really cool for us and super fulfilling to see y'all come to maturation into, like, adulthood in college, and you all pay your own bills, okay? Yeah. Let's mention that. It isn't like, you know, mommy and daddy send trust fund. No. We got we're a no trust fund business, really and truly. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And so it makes us really proud of y'all, too, because we see out there busting your ass. I mean, y'all are up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. How old are you, Austin?
22.
22?
Yep.
21?
No, I just turned 22.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Happy birthday.
I was about to say, I'm 21.
So, I mean, 22-year-olds that are paying their own bills, up every day, hustling, holding down an honest job, super cordial, do a great job, and you're on inherently a great career path, in my opinion. It doesn't. I mean, nothing could make us more proud, man. You know, and so hats off to y'all. I mean, that's the American dream. You know.
Well, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Some John Cougar Mellencamp stuff right there. You know. So, yeah, we'll talk about Montana here in just a second. I started my business while I was in college. And I was probably a little more wild than y'all were in college. Maybe not. But no, I don't think I was.
I did my year at Mercer.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny. You know, we were talking the other day. I think that Appalachian may have produced more high-quality fishing guides than any four-year college in the country. Boulder, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure there's some stuff out west, but there's a slew of fishing guides around that either went through Appalachian or went to Caldwell, which is App's Cobra Mountain sister school. Did a tour there myself. But drift boats on campus, going to class. So after I graduated, I went to business school briefly for like a semester, and they made me wear a suit to class on Fridays. I really didn't like that. And one Friday, I walked in wearing a suit, pulling a drift boat behind my boat, parked it out front, and walked out that day, never went back. So, yeah. I don't know, I guess there's something to be said about drift boats on campus.
Get funny looks.
You do.
You do.
I used to pick up Travis from school like 5 days a week at the Peacock turnaround.
Pulling a boat.
And you could tell people were like, who is this guy? Yeah. Like what an asshole. He's going through campus with a drift boat. He's trying to show off whatever, but it's so
just
funny.
Going to work, man.
Just going to work.
Yeah.
I think recently one of the best things is those Riversmiths that we have on our cars now. The big rod racks.
Cannons.
Tell us about the frat boy when you were installing your rod racks.
I was in my brother's apartment near campus or in the parking lot, and I was putting the Riversmith on top of the car, and it was cold as hell. I was freezing. This dude comes all bundled up by me, and I see like his eyes through his little mask. He like gives me the weirdest look, walks past a little bit, comes turned back around. He's like, what are you doing, man? And I was like, I'm just putting these on my car. He's like, what is that? I was like, oh, they hold fly rods. You just put the fly rods in there, they keep them out of the way, you know. And he was like, oh, okay. I thought you were building some sort of battlecraft.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah. No.
Not at all. Gosh.
But you get a lot of weird looks at that. East Tennessee gas stations. You get a lot of people. Yeah. What in the hell is a river quiver?
Yeah.
But,
and I get it too, man. I'm going to tell y'all, I thought that those rod vaults were some of the douchiest things in the world, and then we got some. I still think they look kind of dumb. But man, they make your life a lot easier if you carry a lot of rods.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
So, full endorsement, River Quiver. They make a good product. We all use them.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Super helpful.
Yep. They are, and they're keep your rods safe. So, but cool. Austin, I want to hear about this raccoon you have got.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I heard something about it the other day, but
I think it's a bear
it was
and a
passing.
raccoon.
Yeah, what up? What happened to a cooler or something? I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So this was Saturday.
Yeah.
I was part of this big. It was a 5-boat trip. I had lunch for 3 boats. I had 9 boar's head sandwiches in my cooler.
Yeah. That's a rack of
this
sandwiches, man.
bear-proof Yeti cooler.
Yeah.
Bear-proof. But so I wake up in the morning, and we've had this raccoon we've been battling. It's our trash can every morning's open. We've tried boat anchors on top, giant boulders. He still figures out how to get it off there. So, every morning we come out to some trash laying around that we have to pick up, trash can lid over. Sometimes it's knocked all the way over. But
Normally it's just a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Like it might be a box of cookies or a bag of chips.
Yeah.
And then the other morning we walk out.
Yes.
And they tipped over a full-sized, full trash can. I think it's a bear.
That sounds like bears or meth heads.
Bears are meth heads.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bear because they threw that trash all over the driveway, carried a bag up a hill like 400 yards. I had to go into this little old lady's yard and pick up like all kinds of nasty fishing guide trash.
Austin, have you pissed any girls off lately?
No.
Think they go through your trash?
No, I've been
Good boy?
laying low. But I think it was the same night he broke into my cooler, and I saw all the trash laying around, and I was like, oh, damn raccoon again. And like just knocked over some trash, walked by my boat to get in the car. I'm still half asleep, and I look at my cooler and look at the boat. Cooler's wide open, and there is just lettuce and boar's head wrappers everywhere. And that raccoon ate 7 out of the 9 boar's head sandwiches.
Oh, man.
Like that's
terrible.
That's a lot of food for a raccoon.
Heck yeah.
But we've seen him a couple times.
Is he a big boy?
He's good size. Jack made contact with him the other night.
Shot him
Nice.
between the eyes.
Yeah.
He still came back.
Yeah.
He shot him, and he still came back that night.
Ran away. They came back
So-
later.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that morning you're in a pinch, man, because you had to replace all that lunch for the trip.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah. Thankfully, there's an Ingles in Elizabethton.
you? That sucks, man.
Opens at 6.
Oh, yeah. Right on, man.
We got our trash cans NRS strapped to the deck now.
Yeah.
He's still getting in them. I don't know what to do.
Dude, I mean, Travis is like a mountain man. So they live in this like cabin, y'all, on the outside of like outskirts of town. It is a straight up trout temple, let me tell you. It hangs off like the side of a hill. They've got drift boats everywhere, rods everywhere. It's like walking into like a Bass Pro Shop, but a home that's just a fly fishing pro shop,
Rental company hates it.
Oh,
yeah. I rented a home from those people too, and I had like a ton of boats and crap in the yard. They did not like
No,
that.
not at all.
But yeah,
We set him straight, though.
nice.
Yeah,
I'd
got
say-
it taken care of.
These
We told
guys,
them-
these guys thought that the leasing agent was really hot, so they were just like sold immediately when
Yeah.
they met her. So I remember they called me like, "Dude, that leasing agent's so hot." I was like, "God, man, is the house good? Can you park boats there?"
Yeah,
They're
it's-
like,
it's all right.
Yeah, perfect."
I hope.
Yeah.
I didn't even look.
Yeah. But
Hopefully she's watching.
yeah. What up, Jordan?
Shout out.
Hey, thanks for letting me leave the boats at my house. Thank you.
And
yeah.
at our house.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I no longer live there. So, yeah, but what were we talking about? I don't even know.
The raccoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travis. Yeah.
Travis,
So
yeah.
their roommate Travis, man, Pork Chop. He'll be on the show. He works with us as well, and he can slam some fish. But old T-Rave, he's a country boy. I'm surprised he hasn't made peace with that raccoon. He's a really good shot. So.
Oh,
He
yeah.
keeps leaving chips out for it, I think. I
Yeah.
think
What
he
the
likes
hell?
it.
Oh,
It's a
that's a
pet.
funny story. So, speaking of chips, Travis loves Cape Cod chips.
T-Rafe.
Loves them, right?
Auntie Ravis.
And we were all sitting out on the deck one night, and, Travis sitting there eating his Cape Cod chips and drinking a beer. Well, he leaves them on the deck. And the next morning, we wake up, and there's a giant grease spot on the deck and raccoon prints everywhere. It ate Travis his whole bag of Cape Cod chips and left a big grease mark on the deck. And you could see where he walked all over and, ripped the bag open. He was so pissed, dude. He ate my daggum Cape Cod chips, man. My Cape Cod. It was hilarious. And you could just see that raccoon was just like, oh, you're so dumb. You left him on the porch for me. But, it was hilarious.
Y'all are definitely not getting your deposit back on that house.
No, we had a lady come look at it. She said it was really clean. She was really surprised.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
She said we had to do some of our dishes, but that was it.
Was she like your mom or something? Do your dishes. That's crazy. Hey, didn't you guide a guest that lived in that house in college?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Same house,
Yeah,
right?
he was like, I was like, yeah, we were passing on the way to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah, I live up that road. And he was like, oh, man, I lived up there for 2 years in college. This was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I live the first one up on the right as you go up the hill. He was like, he's like, it's got that huge room in the upstairs, right? Like the one big one in the back, one little one in the front.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I lived in that. So that's where I live. It's pretty crazy.
It's the Trout
Small
Temple,
world.
man.
Yeah, Trout Temple.
Nice. Well, heck yeah, man. Hopefully that gives listeners a little insight to the college debauchery of a full-time guide, part-time student, more or less. But all jokes aside, these dudes crush it on the river and in the classroom. So my wife, Meredith, she stays on them about making sure their grades are good. So granted, I don't know if they'll ever use their college degree for a job application. Maybe. I don't know. But whatever.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. I have not done that yet. Graduated with Latin honors, and I still haven't applied yet to my own job. So, yeah, let's. You want to talk about going to Montana right quick?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Why don't we talk about a story that about y'all doing something together while you were in college? Let's talk about y'all's Wyoming trip.
Yeah.
Because y'all are some whack jobs.
Yeah.
Let's hear about this.
That was it was a Friday.
3 years ago, right?
Yeah,
2
years.
3 summers.
2 or 3.
3 summers ago.
But it was a Friday. Patrick was like, I found this great deal on a boat. He's like,
yeah, 2 summers ago.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna need someone to go pick up this boat.
Y'all thought it was in Johnson City or something,
he's
right?
like, oh yeah, it's in Casper, Wyoming.
Oh,
yeah.
We're like, huh?
Really?
It was a barn burner of a deal.
Yeah,
It was.
a great deal.
It was, yeah.
But I don't know. I know I was probably definitely down to go do it. I don't know how I was able to rope Max into it.
Yeah, I'm I like my bed. I like my shower, got a routine. And Austin was like, let's go to Casper. And I was like, all right, once in a lifetime trip. Let's do it. I don't have any ties. I can go.
So y'all are how old at this time? 19?
Yeah.
18 or 19?
18 or 19.
Yeah, I think it was 3 summers ago, man. Because that boat's been around
No, I
for
was
3
19.
summers, isn't it?
I was 19.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It all runs together.
yeah, so it was like, so when are we going to do this? And Patrick was like, oh, you probably need to leave Sunday. It's
Yeah.
2 days. I was like, oh, okay. All right. So we it was a funny story. I
Pitched
called my mom the night before. I was like, what's up, Mom?
the
Going to Wyoming tomorrow. What?
Yeah, same exact thing. You could hear a pin drop on the other line from me.
Okay.
I was like, yeah. All right.
I was
Sweet.
booked. I was guiding
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
time, yeah.
So
But we needed the boat. So.
and then I did a half day trip
Nice.
the day we left. So
Perfect.
Max got the truck already packed up.
Y'all took my truck at the time because
Yeah, we were all nervous. When
Yeah.
we first found out we were going to Casper, we were like, whose car are we gonna take?
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's
Austin-
still the days of the old 4Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's still kicking, but
yeah,
wouldn't
barely.
have made it there.
Yeah. And then what were you driving at the time? Oh, the Subaru,
Red
dude.
Subaru,
Yeah.
10 on the bottom.
Was it a 99? How old is that car?
It was an 04.
04?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. But I don't know if either of the cars combined
Oh,
can
no.
make it out there.
No.
Not a chance.
Yeah. See, I'll take my truck out there.
Yeah, so I was ready to go meet Max at the shop after we dropped the guest off, and I drove first. And I don't know what it is about road trips, but I just like, it's like a challenge. It's like, let's see how long I could go before we crash. Or I pass out.
Perfect. That's what I like to
So-
hear when you got my like brand new, like a
Brand new
year-old
Tacoma.
Tacoma. Yeah. At the time, I was driving like nicer vehicles. I do not drive that anymore. And yeah, perfect. Yeah, give two 19-year-olds like a year-old Tacoma, 4-door, 4-wheel drive, so like nice truck, and let them drive until they
$6,000 worth of cash in their
Yeah,
pocket.
six
Drive
grand
across
of
the
cash.
country.
and like
Go do it.
yeah, like 2 boxes of Capri Suns, a log of Copenhagen, and drive
some
until you
nabs.
pass out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I drove the I drove the first like
Perfect.
11 or 12 hours straight.
St. Louis.
Nice.
We're in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Did you stop and pee or anything, or just
Yeah,
drive?
we stopped for gas. That was the only
Yeah.
thing.
Nice.
We'd pee when we stopped for gas. But White Monster, shout out to Monster Energy.
It'd be cool if you got on
Kyle.
a bro staff.
Kyle. But yeah, I drank a lot of those.
Nice.
And you know, Max, I think, was taking a nap or something. We get to St. Louis. My chest starts hurting. I start shaking.
I
I'm
look
like,
over. He looks like
I
he's
wake
seen
him
a
up
ghost, man.
because he
Yeah.
asked me a couple times, like, "You need a switch? You need a switch?" I'm
No,
like, no,
I'm gonna keep going.
fine. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna drive all the way to Wyoming.
And I'm like, cool. I was like, this is awesome. I'm just sitting
Didn't
here.
you sleep all the way to Arkansas, Max? That time we went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
But
kind of
yeah, so
trip
Hey,
Is this-
I offered to drive, and you guys were like, no, you don't need to drive. I'm not gonna be like, no, let me drive.
Yeah.
He wants to drive. Just sit in the back and hang out. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I woke him up in St. Louis, like shaking. I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, Max, I need you to drive.
You guided a trip this day already, right? Yeah.
It's like my heart hurts. I need
The
you
whole
to
time
drive.
he's sitting there like, my heart hurts. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, what the hell's wrong
Yeah.
with this guy?
We pulled off in a gas station.
We got a good gas station.
Yeah, so apparently
Let's hear
there's
it.
some bad parts of St. Louis.
we
I
stopped.
thought it was
in-
just
we
like good
stopped in
ribs,
a
dude.
Yeah.
No.
bad spot.
Yeah.
And-
We didn't know anything about St. Louis.
no. But I
What
walk
y'all
in-
boys doing here?
Yeah, pretty much. I walk into the gas station and, I don't know what I bought, but walk out and I got like $50 in my pocket or in my
In your
hand.
hand, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
2
I
in
don't
the
know,
morning.
2 in the morning, and I felt kind of bad about it. But this guy walks up and he goes, let me have some money. Let me have some money. And I still, to this day, probably not my best moment. I look this dude in the eyes and I look in my hand and go, I'm sorry, man, I don't have any money. And you could see he was like, what did you just say? Like, I was like, Austin, we got to go. I was like, it's 2 in the morning in St. Louis. I about got jumped for $50.
And you got $6 grand of cash in the truck.
$6 grand
right?
of cash in the
Yeah.
like probably $4 grand worth of fishing gear.
So y'all like in the hood.
Yeah.
It was the hood for
Nice.
sure.
It was the hood.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you got
So here's suburban Ray's Max, who just left Boone, which is like, I don't know if there is a bad part of
You don't
Boone.
have to lock your car around here most of the time.
Yeah, it's
No.
pretty solid town. And so you about get mugged.
about
Nice.
get mugged for $50. I should have just let him have it, honestly. I was like, yeah, here, sure. Take it. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I
Max's
was like,
wilder days.
no, I don't have any money.
Hold on, I got to get them for you. Don't take my Echo Shadow.
Yeah. Echo Carbon XL.
Oh, Carbon
Thank
XL.
you.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
the best
yeah.
fly rod ever made.
Yeah.
Ever made.
It is not. Max can't cast. Well, when he started, he couldn't cast hardly at all. That was the only rod he could cast, and he could hammer it.
Still can.
Yeah. No, he could cast fine, but for some reason he loved that rod. I don't know. Yeah.
But anyways, I take over
That
in
rod
St.
sucks.
Louis, and me and Austin are all shaking up, like, yeah, we just about got mugged. So we're driving. We stop and sleep for a little bit at some point. By the time we're like, dude, we ain't gonna make it. We can't keep going. We pulled over to sleep. I don't know if you ever heard this story.
Probably not. Probably for good reason.
This was
Yeah.
in Nebraska.
This is in Nebraska.
What you got? Yeah.
We stop at this truck stop, and all the farmers are up, like getting ready, fixing to go milk cows or whatever. And me and Austin walk in there like, who are these kids? We're wearing AFCO shorts and sun hoodies, and they're like, God, what's wrong with them? But
Yeah.
we pull out of the gas station, and you were driving. I look in the mirror, and the tailgate and the glass are still up.
Oh, on the camper shell?
And all your gear was in the back of the truck, or like a bunch of the gear you had was still in the truck. And me and Austin are like,
I'm on the on ramp.
God.
I'm
On
like
the
going
on-ramp.
60 already.
and it was that stick you loved for your camper shell, the
Oh,
one that
yeah,
the one I
perfectly-
found in the river to
We
drop
lo-
the camper
we
shell
lost
on?
your
Yeah.
stick.
We lost your stick.
I was wondering where that went.
we found a different stick.
Ah!
It wasn't as good.
No, it wasn't near as good.
Don't sweat it, guys. No big deal. No harm, no foul.
No gear was.
Yeah.
No gear was
Seriously
lost
injured.
that we know of.
Well, good.
But that was like, yeah, that's one of those half awake things.
So, y'all, did you make it to Casper?
We did eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
How'd
like
you fish?
29 hours later or something like that.
Yep.
How's the fishing?
We didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Yeah.
Caught like, what, 5?
5 or 6.
Snagged one.
But
Was,
they were
was it
cool.
windy? Heard it's windy out there.
Super
Yeah,
windy.
super
We had our
windy.
4 weights
4 weights
and
and
40
6
mile an
X.
hour wind.
Did you have your Echo? What is it? Echo, what's
think
it
you
called?
did.
What's your rod?
Carbon XL.
Carbon XL.
Don't act like you don't know what it is.
I
It
seriously
won the 4-weight shootout like 3 years ago.
Are you serious?
No.
I was about to say, what? That's new to me, dude. Yeah, the Max Beck 4-weight shootout.
Yeah.
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 It has that and a
Dude,
classic trout
That's
on
got
it.
the grossest cork of any rod I've ever seen in my life. Max's Echo rod. I mean, dude, it looks like you look at it and get scurvy or something. Thing's disgusting.
kind of like my boat too.
yeah.
It's got character.
It's got character.
Any stories from the ride home? I mean,
No, so.
Yeah, the worst thunderstorm you've ever drove through, and I slept
yeah.
through
What, yeah.
once
I was
again,
going through
co-pilot
Kansas. Going through Kansas. Max
Yeah.
was dead asleep, and it was like the craziest thunderstorm ever. It was the one that like in Wizard of Oz that like took the house away kind of bad.
yeah.
That was
Nice.
a tornado.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I thought there was a tornado. I was actually like scared. And
Man.
Max slept through it.
Perfect.
But we pulled over at a gas station in Kansas, the drift boat, and I was bailing water out. And those people were also like, what is that?
Kind of
Yeah.
boat is that, boy?
I still remember
I don't
waking
have
up.
motor
I'm
on
like,
it.
oh,
Yeah. Where's the motor?
yeah. I remember waking up. I'm like, oh, that was awesome. I haven't slept that long, and I look over at Austin, and he's like shaking again. I'm like, dude, what's going on? What's wrong with you? I'm oblivious. I'm like, oh man, it was so nice, and he was like, we about died. I was like, that is the worst thunderstorm I've ever been in.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I was like, huh. I slept great, by the way.
Nice. I heard that that truck had Tempur-Pedic seats, but I'm not. No.
That
Felt
thing
like
actually
it.
slept pretty good.
Did it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I bet I'm rocking a old Lexus now. Pimpin', let me tell you. Yeah. So used Lexuses are cheaper than used 4Runners a lot of times. So anyways, another day, another story. Ended up guiding out of a Lexus. That thing's a pimp wagon. But yeah, so maybe for the next road trip y'all can take that and really ride in style.
Yeah.
Look like a 2005 like rap music video or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big Timers. Y'all ever watch Big Timers music videos? It's
Nah.
awesome. Scotty, you need to put some Birdman on this somewhere. Yeah, the Birdman there. He'll fly in any weather. For sure. But, stuff like that, I mean, I love it because I've got my own set of stories, and maybe one day I can get some of my buds from college on here that are all over the place. Got some in Montana, Alaska, Georgia, guiding still, and talk about like what we did, and share some stories. But it's cool to me to see like what guiding kind of provided y'all in terms of your college kind of experience. It's a lot. I think it's pretty unorthodox for most people. You know, I mean.
Oh, we have way more fun.
Yeah,
than
I agree.
95% of college kids.
Austin, you crossed the country twice, right?
Yeah, so
to get boats.
3 weeks ago.
Went to Arkansas.
Went to Montana.
Montana.
Montana. Yeah. I mean, you know, y'all get to go and work in some pretty nice offices, right?
Yeah.
So, pretty cool gig, man. It's
Yeah.
cool to hear this stuff. And one thing I will say, if you're a parent out there and you've got an outdoorsy kid, I don't care where you are in the country, look at Appalachian State. It's a great college, really good academics. And if you got a kid that you're worried about going to like a city and like not going to class like I did because they're going to skip school to go fishing like I did, don't send them to the city.
Chase Robertson.
Yeah, Chase, if you listen to this, you better get up here.
State.
Yeah. But for real, no matter where you are, I mean, East Coast, West Coast, Appalachian's a great college. We highly recommend it because this is kind of experience you get, you know. And I will say this, neither one of these boys got arrested in college, no trouble. You know, I was going to do some other stuff today, but inherently, I mean, I think it's been a pretty rich episode. It's been a ton of fun for me to hear this stuff. Y'all got anything else you want to leave us with, like in closing? We're going to do a North Carolina fishing report. I'm going to do it really fast, 30 seconds. Small streams, wild trout, dry dropper. Kind of the same thing as the last podcast. If you have any questions, call the shop, 828-355-9109. Tennessee fishing report. Fishing's good. It's been pressured. Technical bite, so small bugs, light line, yarn indicators. Stay away from the bobbers. High water South Holston, Austin. How's it been? Pretty good?
Pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, nothing like crazy to tell you. Just grind it out, y'all. You know, it's late summer. Water's cooling off, though. We've had a couple cool days in North Carolina, so you should be good on the North Carolina side. We also have had some rainfall this week, which is great. But nothing really to write about. I mean, fishing's decent. Nothing like crazy. Sulfurs, blah. In Tennessee. I mean, just get out and enjoy the day. It's beautiful out, man. Enjoy
It's been
the weather.
cooler in Tennessee.
It's been cooler, yeah.
It's been nice.
Winter comes fast.
It does.
Enjoy the warmer days.
Yeah, and enjoy the less crowded rivers. I mean, they're definitely knocking off. But, so why don't we end with like a really short, just quick college-related fishing story? Yeah.
So, Travis came up to fish with me for the
Pork chop.
Came to fish with me for the first time when I was a freshman. And, you know, he brought a pair of hip waders, which I love hip waders, by the way. They're severely underrated. I love them.
Why?
They're
Same
awesome.
with neoprenes.
Do you wear anything other than hip waders, or do you just wear just the hip waders, like boxers or anything?
Oh, no, just hip waders.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah. But
so it's like Chippendales fishing style.
Yeah. If you see a white moon just hovering above the water, it's me.
Yeah. Heard those hexagenia. The hexagenia really need a full moon to come off.
Yeah.
Get them hip wavers on, Max.
But you know, Travis and I were fixing to go fishing. We were all excited, and I ain't kidding. We were there for 5 minutes, and he slipped and fell and filled up his hip waders within 5 minutes of being there. And it's cold. I mean, it's March, like right after they just stocked.
Yeah.
And I just remember him going down, like all the way up to here. I was like, God, I'm gonna have to go home now. You know, like you just had to fall.
What a friend.
You know?
Yeah.
But we ended up sticking it out and tore him up that day. It was fun. But
So you marinated the pork chop that day.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
can't
what
wait
sold him. That actually what sold him on coming to App.
Go Nears.
Go Nears.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he went fishing with me that one day, and he was like, "I gotta come."
And when we say Go Nears, we mean Go Mountaineers. The Mountaineers. The original Mountaineers. Sorry, West Virginia.
Yeah.
The only Mountaineers. So, by the way, working on a really cool shirt related to that, or a design thing. So, well, it's got to do with mountains. Not really Mountaineers, but we'll figure. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. Yeah. Austin, let's hear a story.
Oh, man. Let's see. That old Forerunner breaking down has brought us some good stories.
Okay.
Good one. Didn't
All
think
right.
about that.
There's a couple. Give us 2 of those and we'll end on those.
So
Do the 100 bridge hooker.
first
Bridge hooker.
first one that comes to
hooker.
mind.
Yeah.
Starter goes out. Probably my fault. I knew it was going to go out at some point, but still drove it over there.
Nice.
And so it just completely done. Tried to hit it, get it started, didn't work.
So do you have a boat on the back of your car?
Yeah.
All right, so it's a 98 4Runner, right?
Yep, 98.
Jacked up,
Yeah.
looking mean.
Yep. It rattles a lot, makes a lot of cool noises.
It does.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Smells like 15 of those black Christmas trees
Yep. Yep.
on the inside.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Black ice.
Black ice, baby.
Black ice.
Yeah.
Shout out. So we were fun fishing that day.
Nice.
We had like 3 boats out.
Was I with you that
You were
day?
there.
Yeah.
And so we go to my car was the one we left up at the put in, and we go to start it and done, not working, no
Yeah.
chance. So y'all go back to Boone to
Nice.
drop off boats, and Max and I
And come back and get you, right?
Yeah, come back and get
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
So Max and I are under Hunter Bridge in Elizabethton after hours, which
Ooh.
is it's dark, and we're sitting just sitting under the bridge, mind our own business. Start getting a little nervous. This guy comes down with like 2 pit bulls to start out.
Perfect.
And it was dark, and I we don't know if he saw us, so it's like
Yeah.
hey,
We're like sitting on the boat.
We're over here.
we're over here. Yeah, we're over here. It's like,
So your pit bull
whoa,
doesn't
bear.
attack us.
Yeah. Whoa, bear.
Don't let him off the leash. We're here.
Yeah. You're like trying to scrounge up some Viennas or something to throw
Yeah.
at the dogs.
And he and his pit bulls just like grunt and walk away.
Yeah.
That was that.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking like, how can I chop Austin in the back of the leg to live through this? Like if these dogs are, I'm like, God, what am I gonna do to get out of this?
This is like the equivalent of like being in Montana and having a grizzly bear come at you.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
East
East
Tennessee
Tennessee style.
We worry about
pit bulls.
2
Yeah.
pit bulls.
Yeah.
So next, it's like 30 minutes later. It's real dark now, and this car, we hear like tires spinning in the gravel coming down the hill. This car comes flying in, no headlights, under the bridge.
Yeah.
Like stops facing us.
Huh.
Lights come on right in our face. I was like, oh, I've got a pocket knife. Like, I'm like,
Once again.
and
Whoa,
and,
bear.
Whoa, bear.
Yeah.
And so this lady, she's in rough shape. Puts her window down. She's like, "Who are you?" I was like, my name's Austin. She's like, okay, you're not who I'm looking for. Turns her lights back off, rolls the window up, and sits there.
She was working that night.
Yeah, she's working.
So she sits there.
Waiting.
Waiting. Yeah.
Waiting.
And me and Austin are like, I'm not kidding. She's in the car from me to Austin away.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. And me
It's
and
like
Austin
3
are
feet away
like,
from y'all, just sitting in the car.
The
here's
grizzly bear's like
18
taking a nap next to us.
Yeah. 18 and 19-year-old Austin and I are sitting here. We're like, I'm never coming back. Yeah, this is the most terrifying
What the hell has
thing
Patrick
ever.
done to us?
Yeah.
Mom, come get me. Yeah. Our boss left us in Tennessee.
Yeah. What happened? She end up leaving? I don't remember.
No, she was still
Didn't
there when
some-
you got there.
Was she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we
So what was she doing? I mean, was she like waiting on a John, I guess?
Yeah.
We
Either
found
that or
numerous
selling meth.
prophylactics and some G-strings under the bridge
Yeah.
through the years. Anyways, good stuff, y'all. I mean, that was
Yeah.
good times.
Good times.
Well-
More to come.
More to come.
Yeah, we'll
Just
do it
getting
again.
started.
We are.
Yeah.
And now that we're better, all healed up, we're going to have a little more time on our hands. Guidance slow up just a little bit here in the next couple weeks. So, y'all stay tuned. We appreciate you guys, checking in today with us. Austin, Max, thank y'all for being here.
Yeah.
Pleasure having
It
you.
was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Good time.
Always. And listeners, thanks again. Without y'all, we wouldn't have this. But nonetheless, appreciate it, guys. If you have any questions about fishing, call the shop, and we'll dial you in. Sorry that we didn't do a whole lot of detailed fishing stuff today. We want to do more of a lifestyle piece on kind of what it's like. And no joke, if you're looking to go into college, you like the outdoors, hit up Appalachian State. If you want to ask us about it, call the shop. We can tell you we're pretty much all App grads except for my wife. She went to NC State. But go Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Right on.
Cool deal.
Catch y'all later.
Mic drop.
Peace. Yeah. Oh, also shout
rentals.
out, if 3-6 Mafia hears this, we love your intro. I'll guide you guys for free one day. Love to take GCJ and Project Pat out on a fishing trip. So, yeah, for real. I really want to guide GCJ and Project Pat. So hit me up.
Yeah.
Later, y'all.